Chronic spontaneous urticaria, or chronic hives with no known cause. It's so unpredictable. It's like playing pinball. Itchy, red bumps start on my arm, then my back. Sometimes my legs. Hives come out of nowhere. And it comes and goes. But I just found out about a treatment option at treatmyhives.com. Take that, chronic hives. Learn more at treatmyhives.com.
BTW, FYI. Visit Nexplanon.com RN to learn about Nexplanon. It's an androgestrel implant, 68 milligrams RadioPublic. Or ask your HCP IRL. Okay, TTYL.
Drink it in.
Cornbread! Cornbread! Touchdown, Detroit Lions!
Drink it in.
Cornbread! Cornbread! Touchdown, Detroit Lions!
Drink it in. Drink it in. Detroit Koolaid. Detroit Koolaid drinkers. What's going on, everybody? It's your host, Derek Oakley, right here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast, talking about those lines. And this is a combo meal show, because I got the one and only at Chops and the D on the other end of the line. But I heard his Kool-Aid packet, where he was kind of down in the dumps. He was homing and humming. He was talking some boola boola, and I'm here to set him straight today, as well as all the other bandwagon people out there, all the people that think life has ended. It hasn't, but I'll educate you on our football team, as well as talk about preview of the Cowboys, players coming and going, injured players, updates. We got it all for you, and especially that delicious Honolulu blue flavor Kool-Aid. Say it 3 times fast. Don't act like you're sad. Drink it in. Drink it in.
Cornbread! Cornbread!
Gotta make it a double. Chops, are you ready to jump through the line over there talking about, what are you talking about, Oakley? Y'all upbeat. You're saying I can't worry about it, where I did 15 to 20 minutes the other day about how this team is doomed, or we're going to be okay, you said in the end, and they took a couple pot shots at me. I mean, is that what you're going to do, or are you going to be with me that we're going to serve it up for the people today?
Oh, that Oakley. Hey, first of all, welcome back. I hope you had a fantastic Thanksgiving. It sounds like you only listened to the first half of the anti Koolaid Cast Kool-Aid packet that I dropped on Monday, but I finished with some bravado. I told the people, I gave them some stats on why they don't have to worry so much. They're freaking out. We can get into it even more here, but look, it's been a rough 2 weeks, 10 days for these Lions. But that doesn't mean that we're just dumping out the Kool-Aid, that we're turning it to purple drink or something like that. No, this is the Kool-Aid Cast. We're going to keep serving it up. We got you here to juice it up, amp it going, get the people going. Let's do this.
Choppy chop, before we get into it, because we don't have time to mess around, I think I sent the Thanksgiving drops to about 50 plus people. And as I sent them, I continually said them to me and to other people. So I think I have them somewhat perfected. Do you want to hear it so we can just end the holiday?
Oh, let's hear the recap, because I got a couple here from the kiddos too. So let's do it.
I mean, Choppy, I had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And then, of course, my food and family and everything was great on Thanksgiving. But I'm warming up to I kept going back to the, give me the receiver again, Carolina.
Leggett.
Xavier Leggett. So you got to turn it into one word. It's Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Can't understand a word that
too much twang. It's got to be. It's got to be Thanksgiving. I don't know. I had people rolling in the aisles and people were loving it. They were just wanting to send it to other people and giving people Thanksgiving. But the Xavier Leggett is still the one. And like I said, I I think you sent me probably 5 to 10 messages from your family, friends, but especially your kids doing gimmickry, which made me laugh as well.
Oh yeah. It was. It's no one can do it as quite as good as you, but we definitely had the little choppers around going Thanksgiving, and like they were like, that sounds like Goofy, Dad. So then they like were running into like, and then they're like, say it like Mickey. So it's like Thanksgiving, and I'm like, no, that's not as good. Like, so it turned into a whole thing here in the Chopper household. So amongst the smoked turkey, the deep fried turkey, the mashed potatoes, the sweet potato pie, the pumpkin pie, the cornbread. We even had cornbread casserole too. So woo!
I assume it was a double scoop, but I must say that you're a harsh gimmick judge, Chop. I give you so much love on the dumb crap you say on the show and make it famous. Anything I say, your kids say, or anyway, you knock it down. You got to lift some of these up instead of just being such a harsh critic. And then the other thing I did is I sold you out to a bunch of people because we got loyal, diehard listeners of the show as well as people that didn't know. I'm like, my buddy on the podcast talking about he's buying turkeys in July and just roasting them for no reason. They're like, who does that? I'm like, I don't know, just this guy. I mean, nobody else was eating turkey or pumpkin pie any other time at Thanksgiving except you. So there you go.
Well, I'm telling you, anybody who doesn't love a good Thanksgiving turkey hasn't had it prepared properly. So I'm calling out the people because we dropped one in the deep fryer, 18-pounder in the deep fryer, not a bite left. And then we also one-upped it, made one really, really nice in the smoker for like, I want to say it was in there for like 14 hours on low, slow cook, baby. Oh, juicy, succulent, amazing. I'd eat that thing every week.
Chopster, it's not about how you make it, it's when you eat these things. Like everybody else is having this once a year on this wonderful holiday, and you're talking about, oh no, look, I make one in like June, it's delicious. It's like nobody bought that take that I threw it by. Nobody was like, no, nobody does that. Come on.
Well, maybe they just haven't had it cooked the right way for them. So if you had a choppy turkey made the right way, maybe you would want to have it on another other than Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
That's what it is. Thanksgiving. All right. Anyway, buddy, like my whole thing with, I mean, this was not a good football game on Xavier Leggett's holiday.
Thanksgiving.
But I was so hyped for it. The food was right. The setting was right. Everything was perfect. And the Lions came out and didn't play good football. They couldn't get off the field on defense. Their offense couldn't get cooking. They just didn't do barely anything right. They really weren't in this football game. A couple bad calls, both on fourth down. Both should have been turnovers, and instead they're touchdowns for the cheddarheads and the mozzarella sticks. So there's that. But the reason I'm not upset or going crazy is I feel like people don't realize what the National Football League is. And it's how many times do I come on the show and say good teams getting smoked by bad teams just showing up out of nowhere, like games that shouldn't be close are always close. So like the Lions have lost more games this year, which we knew was going to happen. Every week you can get beat because teams are good, and we're experiencing that down, up down theory. We're going down, but I just see it still as a great organization. I got people fire the GM. I don't know about the head coach. Like, that's just kooky talk. And then you got other people that all they care about is like these. I'm not even as concerned about playoff runs. We've had 2 or 3 magical seasons. If we have a down dip and miss for whatever reason, you pull your bootstraps up, you go get them next year. So I'm not mailing anything in. But I look at the whole and the football team and the players and the organization, not about what happened yesterday and just going crazy on sports talk radio. Those people sound like idiots, don't know ball, and are just the same people that a couple weeks ago had us in the Super Bowl holding up the trophy because we won a few games in a row. So I'm riding it Nice and even. I'm not too worried. Get some dubs. Even if you don't, all these teams, every year you could go in the record book and say, this team was dominant last year, missed the playoffs. This team was terrible, Chicago Bears. Now they're having a magical ride. Oh, wow, they're the number 1 seed. They're going to go. I saw somebody put a $50,000 bet for the Chicago Bears to win the Super Bowl that pays out $3 million. You might as well flush your money down the toilet, my man, because that's terrible. Absolutely terrible. I don't even have to call in Charles, but I'll do it.
That's terrible.
That's terrible. They're not good. They're not a good organization or good football teams. Oh, wow, they won a few games in a row. Oh, they upset the Eagles. Congratulations. Throw the parade. That's not how football works. The Lions are still damn good. I wasn't happy with this game. It was a bad loss. It happens. And I'm still rolling with my squad. They're going to be fine. Even if they sneak in the playoffs, miss the playoffs, have a magical run. Still good, still building, and need some injury luck and otherwise. And they're one of the top 8 teams in football, still, no question.
Yeah, I don't think that I think the panic that is setting in a little bit with Lions fans is not just a direct reflection of this game. So I think there's a couple of things that factor in there, and and again, you brought out a lot there, so there's a lot for me to kind of counter back with. So last year only losing 2 games, I think that became like unjustifiably or sane or not, like Lions fans just expected us to lose 2 or less games. But it's the NFL. It's very, very rare. Like you have kind of predicted. I mean, I think, people jumped all over us when we said the Lions were going to lose 4 or 5 games. People went nuts at the beginning of the season because, oh my gosh, you guys, you hate the Lions now. Well, no, it's the NFL. We're just recognizing that last year was a crazy good year record-wise. Not so great in the playoffs. We expected to lose a few more games in the regular season, but to go farther in the playoffs. That's still my expectation right now. Being 1-3 in the division, is not, obviously doesn't help. But that's another factor. I think that's, kind of playing in people's heads that are bailing on the Lions right now. And then this is the other thing, okay? And, I'm not trying to go negative Nancy. I'm going to just give you some straight facts here. These are just facts. In the last 10 days, we lost Laporta for the season. Raymond gets hurt. ARSB gets hurt. Glasgow gets hurt. Brock Wright gets hurt. We lose to the Packers. Frank unretires, gives us a glimmer of hope, and then before you can even blink your eye, he has to retire again. Okay? Carry on goes on the IR. Dan Campbell comes out and says Kirby Joseph's injury might be something that's a little more long-term, but we're not really sure. There's total uncertainty around there. May linger into next year. It's just crazy talk with that. And then our playoff odds with this loss go from 70% to 30%. So I think all that, a culmination of all that negativity is what is impacting these opinions. But like I ended the podcast or the packet on Monday, folks, you can get drowned in the negative, but that's not who Dan freaking Campbell is. That's not what this team is. This team is still grit. It's still hunting season, as my son likes to say. Let's go. There's always a chance when you got Dan freaking Campbell, and there's 5 games left, and you got 5 games to prove yourself, show the league what you really are, and it starts on Thursday against Dallas.
All great AI bullet points that you ramble.
BTW, FYI. Visit Nexplanon.com RN to learn about Nexplanon. It's an adjustable implant, 68 milligrams RadioPublic. Or ask your HCP IRL. Okay, TTYL.
Off choppy to impress the people with your knowledge, but my whole take and point is that if we have more losses, am I out on this team? Do I want to blow it up? Do I feel like we don't know how to play ball? Or do I feel like we have lots of bad luck, like you said, lost some close games or some games against, I don't know, good teams when we looked at the schedule? And it happens. Oh, you're going to miss your window. I expect us to reload, eventually get a healthy season, and roll with this team. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, can I interject here because you bring up a great point. I want to cut in here.
I always do that.
This whole I'm gonna and I got your back on this completely because all this nonsense talk about the Lions window is closed now. Get the bleepity bleep out of here with that nonsense, people. The window is not closed. Have you not realized the players that we have, the youth that we have on this team that we continue to draft? Anybody who brings that window closed talk can just it's a bunch of boola.
If anything, we've extended the window because we've extended all of our blue chip premier talent. But when
100%.
those guys have a off game, oh, where was Hud? I didn't even notice him out there. You didn't? Because I saw him in the run game quite a bit making plays. Oh, that doesn't matter, right? It's only sacks. Oh, but we lost to you lost to Green Bay at home. Just like we beat their behinds a couple times in their house the last few years. It goes back and forth, and also you said, some people you expected us to not only lose a couple games just because we did the year before. Those aren't smart people. Yeah. That's not a good take. Oh, well, we only lost 2, so if we lose 3 or 4, we're just a completely bad football team. Like, we need to get rid of everybody. We're building a bad roster because Brad Holmes missed on a couple guys in the 4th round. That's just small thinking, as well as this overreaction theater about one day we're doing woo-wees and hashtagging things, and the next week, oh, the season's over. We got to rebuild. We'll be lucky to ever make the playoffs again. Like, that's just not where I'm at all, and I think people need to understand that and ride the wave. Like, get excited when your team's rolling. Yeah, you don't like losing. Nobody likes losing. But if you're just going to bail on your team when they start losing, and then the minute they rip off a dub against Dallas, beat a couple other good teams right in the mix towards the end of the year, you're back with your hoodie, your sweatshirt, your sunglasses, your hat, you're trying to buy tickets off StubHub. Like, no, you can't do that. You got to ride it. How many years I do this show, Chops, where this team was absolutely awful, and I'm sitting here talking about this is the week. Gonna put up a win, let's go. And then when they got good, I got to enjoy those things. You think I'm gonna bail on them now? Not gonna happen.
Yeah, and one more point to that whole take about, like the mentality of this town. Like, don't take this the wrong way, people, but if you look at the sports talk radio, specifically on a certain radio station at a certain time in the afternoon, you see why people might feel like or act that way, talk that way, because you got these 2 jabronis going on and on about just hating on the Lions constantly. You got to hear it every day on your sports radio station. Hutch got paid. Did you notice that he hasn't really shown up since he got paid? Oh, he ripped off the city. He got his money and now he doesn't want to play. Get out of here with that nonsense. Are you kidding me? This dude is all heart, all grit. So that's another factor where these people they're teetering, and then they turn on the ticket and they hear this nonsense every afternoon about, the Lions suck, their window's closed, they didn't do this, Brad Holmes isn't really a good GM, everything, all the nonsense that you hear, man, and it just puts the people in a bad place. That's not how we do things on this show. On this show, we serve the Kool-Aid. We give you some realism, but we still serve the Kool-Aid whether we're 2-15 or we're 15-2.
I heard multiple callers call up and say, same old line, see? It's just like, if you think this is the same football team that you trudged through for probably 20 years, or what do they do, Choppy? They call up, they tell you how old they are, they tell you how long they've been a fan, then they rip the team for forever. What a miserable existence. But if you think this is same old Lions type football, I don't know what you're watching. That's not even the case. And we know what we have to fix. Like, the O-line is taking a dip. We get it. The defense has been banged up at key positions. I understand. Other than that, this is basically the same team that we rolled with, that can score 40 on offense. Our defense gets healthy. They're middle of the pack, like I said. If some people think they're better, we love Shep's speeches. Sometimes he's good, sometimes he's not, as a coordinator. And yeah, they're probably going to have to, I don't know what's going to happen with Taylor Decker. I heard today he's signed to 2027. Is he going to man up the next few years and get his boy Frank back, and we're going to roll with this O-line? Or is it time to, shimmy him along and move Penny to the left and move some other interior pieces and kind of redo this whole thing? I don't know, but I do know it's not really working the way it needs to. But just because it's down dip for the O-line and a banged up defense, again, doesn't mean you blow it all up or that everything's wrong. We know what's wrong. It needs to get fixed. I think it will.
But Okri, didn't you know that you're supposed to address the O-line that is aging 2 off seasons ago? Maybe you should have drafted somebody before. Hello, you got to prepare for this stuff. That's the nonsense take that you're hearing from certain people. In 2023 they had an opportunity to take Zach Frazier and JPJ and all these other guys. It's except we had other needs, and at the time we had the best center in the league, the best tackles in the league, and we were filling pretty well in there with guard too. So again, all this revisionist history, like, oh, now I can see the future. I should have done this like 3 years ago. It's like total nonsense. Do you not recognize that you're starting two players on the O-line that are, first or second year players? Like, it takes time to grow. It takes time to get comfortability there. We understand that Glasgow is getting a bit long in the tooth. We understand that Taylor Decker may not be the guy that he was 3 seasons ago. So they're going to start addressing that. The only thing I would say is if they don't address it and they just keep going back with this, well, we're good mentality, which is a, segue into another topic I want to talk about. But Brad Holmes knows he knows the glaring issues. He knows what you have to do to protect Jared Goff, and that Jared Goff is best when he's protected. So he's got to make, he's got to take the opportunities to make moves to protect the quarterback. And that's, if he chooses not to do that in the offseason, I'm a little frustrated he chose not to do it at the trade deadline. But if he goes an offseason and doesn't address it at all, then we can start talking about what's really happening here.
And so the guy that said we should have addressed it, we did. But I love when that guy called up or when that guy makes that point, and we just go down the list. For the last 2 to 3 years, we've drafted 4 interior O-linemen, backup tackle. We paid guys to play backup or swing positions inside. So they act like we haven't put any resources. Same with corner. Are we happy with TA? Do we know where TA is? AT? No. Oh, yeah, we do. He's back on the IR again. Does that mean I'm quitting on him as a football player in general? No, not yet, but it's not trending the way we'd hope. Same with our boy Ennis Jimenez. Okay, he hasn't played for 2 seasons. I get it. Did he forget how to play football? Are you just, is there not a chance that he could come back and be a, serviceable backup / starter-ish player? I think so. So you got to let them cook. You got to let them season a little bit. And if they prove to be bad over and over again, you can call them bad. If you call them Hall of Fame 1 week and then you're throwing them out to get a guy from the bowling alley the next just because of a win or a loss or a bad play here or there, like I said, you don't know ball. You're not drinking Kool-Aid. You don't rep your team. You're just riding the wave of ups and downs, and you don't know which way you want to look. So I still
prove your point.
in the team.
To prove your point even further, Okri, I mean, look at the history, right? Like in 2023, you'd rather have an interior offensive lineman over Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell, Sam Laporta, or Brian Branch? No. Okay. Then following year, Terrion Arnold. Yeah, he hasn't been great. And Ennis, corner was a huge need. We addressed the biggest need that everybody said we had with the first 2 picks. And then you went a little off the board with Gio there, but you finished it off by drafting Christian Mahogany, who has the potential to be your, starting guard for years and years and years. And then again, look at this year, right? Tate Rat with the 2nd round, and Miles Frazier might be the steal of the draft when he gets healthy. So to people that say that we didn't address it, we did address it. It's not a glaring need we've just ignored. And by the way, if you forgot already, in 2022 and 2023, we had needs that were way bigger and they were addressed. And oh, by the way, they helped us win a boatload of games and make the playoffs.
So, Choppy, here's a couple of things for you, because you brought up the "we're good" comment. I think Dan Campbell said that, but that's the approach Brad Holmes gives off as well. We're good. We got 1 edge rusher. What do we need? 2, 3, 4 of them for? You get that. Dan Campbell saying we're good means he likes his guys. He didn't like anybody else at the time or that's out there that's obtainable better probably than what he has. So when they say that, you play in reality sports online, 32 teams, 53 players per. Your team's built via trades and otherwise. You're undefeated. But are there times you just look at your roster and you're like, I'd really like to upgrade that, but I got no cap space. I don't have any picks I want to get rid of. And nobody's willing to, hand over any players that are better than what you currently have. What do you say then? You're good. As good as you can be right then. That's what they were saying, and that's what I think people need to understand. They would always like to upgrade. If you can't, you don't have the resources, or you spent the resources, you can't do it. Other thing I want to say about guys still coming up through the pipeline. I heard Mark Brunell say he thinks Isaac Tesla is going to be a heck of a player here for a long time. Do I expect him to come out and say the opposite? No. But do I think that, Darius Slay was terrible his first year or so, and then he was like a Detroit favorite and was a really good corner here in this town? By the way, he's available. He just got cut. Could he come back here for a cup of coffee and a bag of Cheetos type contract? I mean, at this point, we could use anybody, especially a vet that has some talent. But if you don't let the Tesla's season and the TAs and our I heard people ragging on Tate Rat. They're just like, oh, did you see him get blown up on that play? Yeah, have you watched any other football where interior O-linemen get off their skis every once in a while and get beat up? Did you mention any of his good plays where he seals off the edge for Jahmyr Gibbs or, makes plays like that? No, you call out a couple plays that didn't go so well and you want to act like he's a second-round bust.
Yeah, I totally agree. Okay, like people have to give Tate Rat some time. He's a rookie. Yes, I get it. He's a top pick. He's a second rounder, but the kid's going to have some growing pains. I still expect him to be a starting guard in this league and, and reach that elite level eventually, but there's going to be some growing pains there. So, and to circle back on your whole, Dan Campbell, we're good approach. I think I agree with you 100%. People are misinterpreting that. Would you kind of alluded to it with fantasy football, but like every team in the NFL would love to make a certain position better, right? Whether it's, upgrade this, upgrade that. Yes, some they may say, yeah, we are good at a certain spot, but like no NFL coach and GM is going to go, oh, I'm going to turn down an upgrade. But again, what does it cost? Does it cost you cap space? Does it cost you future assets? What is the juice worth the squeeze? And people just don't want to. Like, they don't want to acknowledge that. They just want to go, oh, why can't you just get us a better edge for nothing? Well, it doesn't work that way. In case you checked, like Micah Parsons is going to cost the Green Bay Packers, like $40-some million for God knows how long. So it's not free. We have a bit of a cap situation going forward in future years. He's trying to bank that money so he can pay it forward in 2026 and 2027. So the only caveat that I do have is I expect them to start addressing some of these needs that are glaring holes. Like, yes, edge is a need. I expect that to be like one of their top draft picks, whether it's adding to the O-line in a tackle position or focusing on the edge next year in the draft or in free agency. But you got to give Brad Holmes time. He can only do so many things with so much money in just such a short window that he's got. So give the dude a break.
Oh. Well said. The other thing I was going to hit you.
Thursday Night Football is on, and it's only on Prime Video.
Wide open, touchdown.
This week, the Dallas Cowboys and Detroit Lions face off in a high-octane clash.
Look at this. It's on the money.
Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern with football's best party. TNF Tonight, presented by Verizon. Not a Prime member? Not a problem. Simply sign up for a 30-day free trial. It's the Cowboys and Lions, Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Prime Video. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details.
This episode is presented by State Farm. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing the protection of an offensive guard on the football field, but getting an elementary school crossing guard. Sure, they're both guards, but you can only trust one to keep your quarterback safe when the game is on the line. So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Here's my 30-second story with Guinness. As soon as my sister and I get home for the holidays, we don't even unpack. We head straight to our pub. The bartender already knows our order, Guinness and fries. We laugh all night, catch up with old friends, and walk home with faces sore from smiling. It's one of my favorite nights of the year. That was my 30-second story with Guinness.
Guinness Draft Stout. Please enjoy responsibly. Imported by Diageo Beer Company, USA, New York, New York.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. You're ready to move your business forward, but first, you need to find the right team. Start your search with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It can help you reach qualified candidates fast, ensuring your listing is the first one they see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs are 90% more likely to report a hire than non-sponsored jobs. See the results for yourself. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Oh, Hilton stay, your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay, oh, Hilton stay.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. Enjoy comfortable rooms and friendly service when you stay with Hilton instead. Save up to 25% this season when you book with Hilton. Hilton for the stay. Terms apply.
With quickly is, when do you deem a player like a TA for instance, like, hey, I can't give you any more get out of injury free cards, or I've seen enough, I know enough, you're not enough type of thing? Or do you think because they're so young, even if you're injured your first year or two, you're not even playing your first bunch of snaps until year 2 or 3, and then it takes a year or so. I mean, we don't have forever, but circumstances do push it out a little bit where you have to be more patient than you want, but sometimes you can just be like, man, this guy can't play.
Yeah, I mean, look, it takes every player, it takes a little bit different. How long did it take Derek Barnes to kind of finally fit into his mold, right? Like,
you're ready to send him out, not because of his spelling, because of his play.
People were ready to, I mean, he's a 4th-round pick in 2021. People were ready to, like, run him out the door in 2023. Oh, he can't play. He's done. Get rid of him. Cut him. Blah, blah. Like, now, like, he's a part of that 3-headed monster that you got in that linebacking core, which is arguably one of the best in the NFL. So, you know, every guy takes a little bit of time. I think injuries definitely play a factor, but, you know, you got to look at the things, too. Are they adjusting their game? Are they understanding the scheme? Are they in the wrong scheme? Are we trying to make them do something that they've never done before and they just aren't going to get it? And so if that's the scheme you're going to continue to play, you got to move on. Like, there's so many little factors that go on. Like, for me, Terrion Arnold, last year's biggest problem was penalties, right? Sticky hands. Well, I feel like he's cleaned that up quite a bit this year. Is it perfect? No. Is it exactly where we want it to be? No. Is it better? Abso-freaking-lutely. So you got to take the good with the bad. The injuries are tough, right? Like, you know, I don't want to go on a big injury rant here, but I feel like over the last 2 seasons, the Lions have had unpredictable injury bad luck, unprecedented in the NFL ever for like any team. It's just insanity. But, you know, I don't know if it's something that they're doing. I don't know if it's just like the football gods going, you guys are too good and we got to find a way to even the score here. So we're going to just take all these dudes out on injury. I have no idea what it is, but we've had some terrible luck on that. And I'm not, you know, cashing the chips on, you know, TA, even though we always wonder, where's he AT because he's not on the field.
So everybody, Chops is with those other knuckleheads. Fire the strength and conditioning staff. That's the problem. Good take, everybody. I'm sure that's what it is. These people have no clue what they're doing and not telling the people. The only person not in the weight room probably for the Lions is Jared Goff, okay? Just ask my boy Wagner about that one.
No, Jake Bates and Jack Fox might not be in the weight room either. I think those 3 have they've got to pass.
Chops, I think
if you're kicking or throwing the ball, you don't need to go to the weight room, I guess.
I think we've served up Kool-Aid. We've tried to back people off the ledge. We've called out jabrones for bad takes. We've said, yes, we want the team to win. We want to be in the playoffs. We want to win the Super Bowl. All of those are still possible at this point, but it's not as good as we hoped. It's not as good as the last couple, but it doesn't mean it can't end even better. Who knows? But, Chops, you know where it starts, right? You know what it really matters is Thursday night at 8:15 on the goofy yet somewhat entertaining Prime Video feed on the old Amazon, and that's the Detroit Lions versus the Dallas Cowboys in Detroit. I think it's going to be a whiteout. Is that good? Is that bad? I mean, please don't call them the marshmallows. That's all I have. But the Lions are wearing the white Krispies with the pants that they look like they got from, the Jersey magazine that you order high school uniforms out of. But the white Krispies are a decent look. They're at home. We have embarrassed Dallas time and time again since they screwed us a couple years ago, which in case you remember that, Chops, they screwed us. We would have had the number 1 seed. San Fran would have had to come to our house, but no. Dan Skipper didn't wipe his shirt enough so the guy knew what was happening. So what have we done since then? Beat them by 50 just because. And here, the Dallas Cowboys are high-flying. Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens. Okay, that's kind of where the list ends. Like, can you tell me more good players on their team? Because, you won a few lucky games. Before that, they had the Dallas Cowboys in, the top 10 of the NFL draft, and now all of a sudden, they're going to overtake the Lions. They're this tough team. I mean, we know they're not tough. I don't even have to ask Beetlejuice, but I will.
They can't handle me. They ain't tough enough yet.
We're going to pull him down to the knees, buddy.
I'll put him down to his knees, buddy.
Chops, you understand?
Yeah, I understand. I got it in my head, dude.
What do you got? Can you follow that?
But Oakrey, they have James Houston. We have a problem on defensive end now. They're a juggernaut. They've got Javonte Williams at running back, who's having a historic season with almost 200 carries and 8 tugs.
Nope.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm in the same boat as you, man. I think this is going to be the week that we get back on track again. The history says in 3 seasons we haven't lost back-to-back games. That trend continues. We're in Ford Field. It's 8:15. It's another Thursday game on Prime Video, prime time on Prime, or whatever the little segment that they do is that my kids are running around saying. But look. America knows what's going to happen with this team. We are the new America's team. All right. We're favored by 3.5 points. We're at I think a 65% chance to win this game on the matchup predictor. This is going to be a Lions win. Am I going to call it a easy dub? Well, probably because we call everything an easy dub, but I'm telling you right now, the Lions are going to win by 4. And look, and I know we're going to get into the details. I went a little early on the score prediction, the choppy take on it. But look, I'm ready to turn this thing around. I'm tired of people. I'm tired of the negativity. I'm tired of the ho-hum. I'm tired about the woe is us. Let's start it on this Thursday, beat Dallas, and then move on to the next game, which happens to be in LA against Matty Statty Patty.
This episode is brought to you by Nature's Bounty. Nature's Bounty believes your body is brilliant, naturally designed to thrive, inside and out. For those always looking for new ways to support your health from head to heels, Nature's Bounty has a range of over 400 vitamins and supplements born from 50 years of trust and care. Nature's Bounty. It's in your nature. Visit naturesbounty.com to learn more.
The Freddy Fazbear box just dropped at Popeyes for $7.99, and it's scary good. Garlic palm tenders and cheesy bites with marinara sauce. Upgrade to the deluxe box for $12.99 and get a 20-ounce drink in a cupcake cup. Dig in before it's too late. Try the Freddy Fazbear Crunch menu, now at Popeyes. See Five Nights at Freddy's 2, only in theaters. Love that chicken from Popeyes. Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants. Prices may vary.
Everyone wants the Emirates NBA Cup.
And things are heating up.
30 teams started. But only 8 have advanced to the single elimination knockout rounds. To survive, they'll have to be hungry, relentless, ruthless.
Are you kidding me?
They all want the cup, but only one team can claim it. Who will capture the cup? Emirates NBA Cup knockout rounds begin December 9th on Prime.
At IKEA, your dreams can come true. Well, maybe not the ones where you're being chased by a monster. We're talking about kitchen dreams. And there are IKEA products and solutions for all of them. Whether it's a whole new kitchen, a statement glassware set, or just new cutlery. If you got big dreams or small dreams in any size of budget, IKEA can help you bring them to life. Visit IKEA.us/dreamkitchen to learn more. Dream the possibilities.
How does PwC take your company to the leading edge? They bring the sharpest minds in tech to your team, so you can bring the ideas that will transform your business. They're passionate about your industry, so you can walk into any room with every advantage. And they're with you every step of the way, so you can know you're headed in the right direction. PwC builds for what's next, so you can get there now. Get started at pwc.com/us/leading edge.
So let's be serious about Dallas for a second. I view teams that worry me as teams that are tough, physical, really good defenses, get after the quarterback, high-flying offenses. What does Dallas have out of those? Right now, at least their last few games, we'll give their offense a thumbs up. Wow, you completed some passes, you scored some touchdowns, you have good skill players. Last time I checked, Lions can't cover a coffee table. They couldn't get off the field at all. They have TA gone. DJ, that's my DJ, had his moments that weren't so great in the last game or two. You got Amik out there trying to guard everybody, but he's got roasted toast and extra crispy a couple times for a deep touchdown, if I remember correctly, on Thanksgiving. So that worries me. The toughness factor definitely doesn't. Dallas has never been, other than when they had that beefed up O-line, a team that you had to worry about from a physical perspective. Now, when I started to crack on their defense, I did kind of pass by that Jared Jones made 2 trades at the deadline, one of which got them Quinnen Williams, which we knew was a talented player, but hadn't jumped off the screen until he went to Dallas. Now he's making a lot of plays and making an impact on the defense. You also have the linebacker from Cincy, Logan Wilson that they obtained. I don't even know if he's still hurt or if he's playing. So you added 2 pieces. You do have, the old dude, Kenny Clark from the Cheddarheads, the Mozzarella Sticks, who's a good run plugger, but he didn't get after the quarterback. And who else they have? Their main corner's hurt. Bland is always just looking for pick sixes. I can't name you other people on this roster that are overly good. They have some young talent. They try to draft and develop. They just can't do it as good as the Lions. So what does Dallas do other than have the star on their helmet, the refs in their back pocket, and a bunch of flashy pass catchers and an overhyped, overpaid quarterback that's going to come into the D and beat us up?
Yeah, their defense is absolutely suspect. I mean, I think they've given up almost as many points as they've scored. So I think they're neck and neck with the Lions, right around like 350 points scored. But their defense, I think, has given up like 340 some points. So, like, that's where we have to, just work our magic. We've got to protect Jared Goff against, again, like, their pass rush, which, whatever. Like, Houston, we have a problem. Like, I know they have, Ezeraku on the edge there that's, racking up some stats there. But, again, if we can protect Jared Goff, give him time. We know that Amon-Ra is questionable. It's hashtag Waymo season, WR1 season. Ugh, I'm tongue-tied and twisted here. So, J-Mo's going to go off. Of course, you're going to rely on Demo, faux show, lots of scos, let's go. And then Jahmyr Gibbs. Like, let's just pound the rock, run it with our running backs, protect Jared Goff, and expose this weak-ass defense.
Chops, I can't imagine that we lost Kevin Zeitler and Frank Ragnow, and now we can't impose our will. Because if you ask me, like, we know the center is a downgrade. Like, you hate to hate on Glasgow, but he had been sort of beat up and aging. You were willing to pay him whatever he wanted. I was skeptical on that contract. He's been ho-hum at best. He's a good dude, a funny guy, a hard worker, but the production and the dominance just isn't there at the center position. Tate Rat and Kevin Zeitler is a little bit of a downtick, and to me it's only because the kid's learning. He's not tougher, stronger, better fit in this locker room. So, like, there's no way that the Lions should not be able to run the football with both the guys you mentioned better than they have. And the fact that they're just getting demolished in pass protection totally confuses me, because Penny is the best in the game. We got other seasoned vets. They need to just be better, and they haven't been. But if they're letting people through, can we dial up some different passes? I mean, I haven't seen Amon-Ra go deep one time this year. It's all dink dunk middle of the field. Okay, I get it. He's good at that. I also know he's hurt, but when he does get healthy, he is our top guy. Everybody's top guy needs to be able to stretch the field a little bit or find the end zone more consistently, I think, than he has. So it's like the offense just needs to be more not only creative, but push the ball downfield to J-Mo, send Saint deep sometimes, like find ways to occupy backers with the multi-dimensional, positionless. I won't even make you wait for it because we're running along. Elite weapon, Jahmyr Gibbs. So it's like you could tie up linebackers way better with him than you could for all the Laporta supporters out there. I'm just saying. So there's ways to get this done, and I feel like the Lions and Lions fans that are just, you lost 2 old linemen. You didn't know you were gonna be this bad in certain games, and then other games they were dominant. Our defense beat up all over the field. There were weeks where we looked like a top 5 team in the league. Nobody could move the ball on us. We're just making people punt, turning the ball over, and then the last few weeks, get the crickets out. I mean, we're just stale. We can't make plays. We can't get any takeaways. Chops, you ever hear me say on the show, if you don't get takeaways, you're not going to win games? What's happened to the Lions? No fumbles, no picks, no big plays in special teams. Oh, we lost a couple games. Imagine that. Like, it's not hard. So they gotta get it together. And Dallas feels like a team you can do it against. Since it's not in their house, I don't expect a ton of shenanigans. But they are a team that gets the preferential treatment, and they do have those glory wonder boys of the league where it's just like, we can't touch CeeDee Lamb, and it's like, we understand he's talented, but he's just another football player too. So I'm very intrigued by this game, but I'm not going in afraid. If anything, we should be able to out-physical, out-tough them, and put up more points, or put up as many points and and stop them and score more just when it's all said and done. That's what I think.
Yep, I agree. And on the offensive side too, I was sitting there on Turkey Day, and I think when I'm on Thanksgiving. There's the Majestic for you. When he went out, I was like, I don't want to get the guy killed, but why are we not running Jahmyr Gibbs out as a wide receiver? Put Demo in the backfield, line up Jahmyr Gibbs as a receiver, run a couple crossing routes. Can you imagine him and hashtag JMO Fast out on the field running deep seam routes and with cutbacks in? You could be dynamic. You've got the speed. You've got the players. Of course, that slot position is really tough with Amon-Ra. He takes a beating, and I don't necessarily want Jahmyr Gibbs getting killed. But can you be a little more creative? Find a way to get the ball to vanilla smooth. It's a tough day when we're relying on preseason superhero Tom Kennedy to move the chains for us. So. We can be a little more dynamic.
I have a negative on vanilla smooth. All they do is talk about how tough and his blocking. There was at least 4 times, Chops, in live action, I kind of keyed on him because he was around the football. A complete Olay, just didn't block, didn't know who to block, didn't get to his block. So he got a big old check minus from me and probably the folks at the old PFF, Pro Football Focus, for his blocking, even though that's all you hear him talked about. And you just sparked an idea with me. Could you imagine out to your left in the slot or even out wide is Jahmyr Gibbs, and then out wide to your right is hashtag JMO Fast. They run up 5 to 8 yards, and they just run horizontally across the field and pick who you want to throw to, because whoever's guarding them is not going to be able to keep up going 40 yards across the field. Whoever you get it to is going to get it and cut up field, and it's going to be a big play. Have we done that ever in our lives? No.
How about a hashtag JMO Fast catch on those crossing routes, and then a pitch over to Jahmyr Gibbs going the opposite direction, who takes it to the house? Get creative, people. Let's go. Open it up.
And when's the last time we remember chucking the ball downfield just to stretch the D? Hey, I'm just going to... I don't know how far Jared Goff can throw it. Has he done any push-ups recently? I'm just curious. Just checking.
No, he doesn't do push-ups. He's
okay, no push-ups, no Pilates. No. So, let's say he really throws it down there, 40-some yards. Just chuck it down the field and let our guys run, and then you complete it or not, I don't care. You've shown you'll at least try. Instead, it's dink and dunk and screen and let's do this run up the middle play the 5th time. And it's you do have to establish your toughness, but if you can't get creative or stretch defenses, they're just going to sit down on the run game, and you're not going to use these elite players you have. You know why they're elite? The speed. So use the speed. Crossers, deep routes, overs, whatever, and let them run away from people instead of the things that doesn't accentuate, like these little stick routes they throw to Gibbs. Let him get out in space. Let him catch on the run.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, again, I feel like we get on this and we just start talking, two buddies talking football. We could go for days and days and days, but I think, one of the big reasons why we're so unsuccessful on 4th down this year is because we have really pigeonholed. You always had a deep threat. You always had ARSB. On those 4th down plays, we only needed a yard. We didn't always just go for a yard. Sometimes we went for big plays just because we knew we could hit them. Now people know, on a 4th down play, you're only just trying to get those few yards, and they're shutting it down. So you got to be dynamic. You got to use that diversity of your assets with your speed and your toughness and everything else, because it's failing you right now, especially on 4th down. What are we, 0 for 12 in our last 4th down attempts now? It's pathetic.
I hate the the 4th and more than expected. So 4th and 2, 4th and 4. And you see it from a lot of teams in the league where, especially on the long, 2-yard type thing, they just run it up the middle, and that's where all the bodies are. How many times do you see a guy, it doesn't matter who the player is, because by the time he gets the football, there's just a pile of bodies. He's got nowhere to go, and he just gets killed in the backfield. You need to be doing these flip 90s to the outside or bubble screen because nobody's out there, or, like you said, fake the dive and then just chuck it. There should be nobody back there. So, yeah, it's got to be so much better. And, Dallas, as you said, with their defense being suspect, as you called them, or sus, as the kids would say, we should be able to dice this team. And, yes, they can get after the quarterback a little bit. They have a couple ball hawks. And I do think it might be a race on the scoreboard with the way they throw the ball around the football field and the way that we can't make plays on the football. But I don't think that we shouldn't be able to move it, and the defense got to be better. You have to get off the field on 3rd and long. You can't have those first down type penalties. And you have to take the football away. I don't care how you do it. Ripping at the ball, doing the Amik punch. Jack Campbell is the best linebacker in football with a whole bunch of tackles, but he could get after the quarterback a little bit more or make that punishing hit, which he did a few times to get the ball out. You need more plays like that. If you get plays like that and the offense kicks it up, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to win this type of game or other games after that.
When was the last time you heard my boy Brian Branch with a big play? Like how many games? It's been forever. Like, and again, I don't want to. It's not just about stats. It's not just about the one big play, but like we need our playmakers to step up. It's time for the Jack Campbell's, for the Brian Branches. I think Kirby Joseph might be back. Time for Hutch. Like we need those guys to make some big plays. Like put this team on their back. Say, boys, we got you. We're going to carry this. Get a couple turnovers, get a couple strip sacks, get out there, like you said, punch the ball out, knock some things loose, make some stuff happen on defense and set our offense up on a short field so we can just pound in touchdowns. And again, I know we live by the sword, we die by the sword, but like, can we just take some points every once in a while? Like just if it's 4th and long and it's a makeable field goal for Jake Bates, can we just kick a field goal a couple times?
How about down 10 late in the ball game, need 2 scores, you're inside the 20, it's 4th and like 6. Can we take a field goal, please? Like, I'm not an analytics expert when it comes to football, but I know how to do math, and math tells me a field goal and a touchdown to tie the football game. Yes, I understand 2 scores win, but I know it's 4th and 6. So you might want to kick and then go try to get it the next time. That's what most people do. So yes,
Dan Gamble might have been hitting the turkey juice a little early. Like I don't know what he was doing there. So.
And those aren't even hindsight. That's me yelling at my house. Like take the field goal. And like I understand. Here's my point on my boy Brian Brandt. Like you say, he hasn't made any plays. For me, he's sometimes the only guy flying around the field just laying lumber on people. But man, has he not had luck in coverage. How many times has he been like in the hip pocket, hand up, diving over the guy, and he makes a one-handed catch, a falling down catch, a catch to end the game, like against the Cheddarheads, the mozzarella sticks. Like, I don't want to call it bad luck, but I just feel like he's been in position. It's just they've either made a better play, if you want to call it that, or he hasn't been able to get his hands on the ball, but he's been around the ball a lot. And I still see him as a very much a plus player, but you're right. He has his moments with the missed tackles and when he's not getting the turnovers or being, scooping up the ball here and there, it jumps out a little bit. But I wouldn't put it on him whatsoever. And you mentioned Kerbo. Do I need to get the music out, Chops? Like, what is going on with Kerbo? I heard his career is over. I heard he can't ever recover. I heard someone say today he's good. He'll be back in a week or two. Like, what is going on with the highest paid safety in all of football, number 31, hashtag curb stomp, Kirby Joseph for the Detroit Lions? What are you hearing?
Oh my gosh, I've heard everything from he's back this week, we're all good, to here's a picture of his degenerated knee and it looks like his career is over. Like the rumor innuendo, I don't know, the conspiracy theories out there with this guy are like it's like from he's good to like the guy makes a cryptic tweet, deletes his Twitter account, like the guy like maybe he's quitting football. Like it's just all over the place. People are freaking out.
I thought he was going to retire, and then I saw a tweet before we got recording where they just debunked it all and said, no, he's not only good, he was one of his better practices recently and expect him on the field in a week or two. I'm like, I have
but
no
Okri,
idea
didn't you see that schematic of his knee with all the degenerated tissue that doesn't grow back and it's bone on bone and there's no way that he's ever going to be able to put football pressure on there again and it's probably going to cost him his career and oh my gosh, we just paid him and extended him and oh my god, he's got all this money and he's not going to be able to play after. It's not just this year, he's probably not going to play next year and then maybe his career's over. You didn't hear all these talks?
I mean, I heard him, but we got to go back to the whole strength staff. Did they just not run this guy through a physical, if all that was true, before he signed the paperwork? Or what kind of clause does Brad Holmes have in if that is the case? But we need him back on the field, man. He's a swaggy player, an absolute ball hawk, but he's been an absolute mystery all season. So Choppy Chop.
He's an absolute difference maker with this defense. Like, we are not the same without him. Like,
there's no doubt.
You know, his ability to just read the play, to make plays, to get his hands on the ball. It's I mean, again, the guy's played half the season. He's still leading the team in interceptions with 3. I think the next closest is 1 by a whole bunch of dudes, including Alex Anzalone, by the way.
Not good, by the way. But Chops, like, I mean, I think we've done what we need to do, which is get everybody going crazy in the beginning. We kind of just tore up the Cowboys and hooped up our Lions. We gave them a little credit, but not too much. Go look at the last couple scoreboards if you want to see, yes, this might be closer. I understand they're on a hot streak. Us, not so much. But it's in our house. The people got to show up. Chops, I said this might be a little bit of an offensive shootout. I mean, you're the one that's known to put up 50 burgers and talk about how we're going to beat people by 20, and that's only because they're going to score a late touchdown too, or else it would have been a 27-point dub, whatever you said a couple weeks ago. Like, I feel like let's give ourselves a fun, exciting games. Let's go a big whopping 38 for Detroit, and let's give Dallas 31. Exciting scoreboard type shootout. Dubski, pretty comfortable. We don't have to worry. Get to work the next morning with a dub in our back pocket and send Jared Jones and his Cowboys back home with a big old loss, which they're used to, except for the last couple weeks where they got on a little streak.
I like it. I'm gonna go a little bit tighter, but I think Dallas scores towards the end of the game to make this closer than it really appears. But I'm going Lions 35, Dallas 31 to give us a 4-point dub. We cover the spread. We hit the over. But again, I think it's more of a, like, they score a late touchdown that doesn't really mean anything at the end of the day. So Lions win, kick the Cowgirls out of Ford Field, send them home. They can cry for 10 days until their next game. We can rest, we can relax, and go into this 10 game like pseudo bye week with this 10-day layoff and try to get healthy and then just ready to roll through. Like, we got to win. We got to go 5-0 or 4-1 or whatever it is. Let's start off 1-0 this week.
About time they get some rest. We got to play Sunday, Thursday, I mean, let's get these guys not only a break, but get a couple of our.
Can we throw a Friday
ballers,
game in there, maybe? No?
Yeah, get our ballers back on the field and let's just see what happens, everybody. Let's take it one game at a time. We realize it's basically a playoff type atmosphere. You got to win them all basically, or lose one maybe. Need some help from some other teams, but keep that positive Detroit Kool-Aid mindset that we have a good football team, a tremendous organization, a great GM, and a top shelf elite head coach, an alpha male of all alphas. We're going to be okay regardless. And there's some years it's just not your year. Hey, we're all beat up. Hey, maybe Frank will be ready to roll next year, get a whole offseason with him. You don't know. TBD if you ask me, but we'll see. I know he'll play well if he wants to play. Add another rookie class. Add a couple more free agents. Roll in there next year. But we're still here in 2025 where we can beat Dallas, win a couple more games, get back in the playoff mix, sneak in the playoffs, and oh, hey, by the way, now we're healthy and our offense is clicking and we just start beating teams on the road because you know we can go on the road and beat anybody. You know this. So, Choppy, that's what we got. And we'll catch everybody next time right here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast. Take care, everybody. We're out.
Easy dub. Lions.
Pack the bag, start the plane. This game is over. It is over. What a comeback by the Lions. Drink it in, man.